you're out of time. And now you're out of time. Oh, and now you're out of time.
So hello everybody, this is 19 to the dozen, episode 8. With us together it's Monica Mills, artist from UK. Ish. Okay. Go on.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you're welcome, Monica.
Welcome to my studio.
All right, we are in Monica's studio. If you want to follow Monica on Instagram or buy her wonderful art, it's Monica_Mills.
We're here at Pragovka, my complete mess of a studio. So thank you for putting up with that.
Thank you for having us here.
Yeah.
It's wonderful to see the animal in its natural habitat. Why from UK-ish? What is the story there, Monica? Are you just like not proud of Brexit?
Oh, definitely not proud of that. That's an embarrassment. I was born in Scotland, actually, but I grew up in Zimbabwe. So I only moved to the UK when I was 10.
Okay.
And then I lived in the countryside in not in a field, but sheep, cows, fields, green, not a lot going on, in a lovely little town called Stroud. And then I went to university in Liverpool, and that was my first kind of
big city experience.
Yeah. Whoa. It's a fantastic, fantastic city. And actually I was studying philosophy and English literature. Very useful subjects. And then I was there for 3 years, and then I had no idea what to do next. Like every graduate who finishes with a philosophy degree and an English degree, you question life. And then I moved to New Zealand, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. So when my family kind of left New Zealand, my dad's side had dual nationality with the UK. So we were able to move to the UK, no problems. It was fine. But in 2001, the UK started closing the borders to people leaving Zimbabwe. So my mom's side of the family, they're like 6th generation white South African or white Zimbabwean. And so the UK wouldn't let them in. So they moved to New Zealand. So I had my entire family from my childhood growing up in one country. And then by the time I was 10, I had 3 continents. And so we visited New Zealand a lot while I was a teenager. And then my mom's mom, she was over there, and my mom's brother, and kind of lots of family on that side. And I went there, and I worked in a shopping mall, and I sold hair straighteners and hair curlers.
Wow.
Yeah, very different. It was a lot of fun working in sales. I'm definitely telling the truth there. It was a lot of fun. I would be one of those people like in the shopping center that'd be like, "Hi, can I show you something for your hair?" And I would like encourage people to sit down. Let me just show you. I can straighten it. I can curl it. And the whole time I'm going, "Oh, this is an entirely different brand. It's nothing like GHD. We use all our money to create this beautiful product. We don't spend it all on marketing. Yada, 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 yada." And we only earned what we sold. We only like earned a percentage of what we sold. So
There was no basic salary?
nah.
Wow.
Yeah. In 1 year, I had 3 days of no selling. And it was okay because I was good. I was very good at my job. But I don't think I could do it now.
Okay.
I was 21, 22. And New Zealand is beautiful. It was the most incredible experience. I've been back a couple times. I'm now too old to move there.
They are ageist?
They are ageist.
Really?
They're ageist and like qualificationist. And because I keep doing degrees like English, philosophy, and art, they don't want me. I'm unemployable basically over there. But yeah, they have.
They don't enjoy art in New Zealand.
Nah, not in the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, once I hit 30, I was like, well, New Zealand's not happening now. Never mind. And
Prague
then-
surely enjoys art.
Yes, Prague. So my first time coming to Prague, I think I was 3 or 4. And I came here knowing I had this job in Mlada Boleslav. I didn't know where it was. I got off at like the airport and was like, I should have done some research about this before I arrived.
Mlada has an airport?
No, here in Prague.
Okay.
And I had 2 days training here with like the company I was working for to teach. And then I got in a car with like my manager, my regional manager, and she was like, cool, we're going to drive to Mlada Boleslav. I'm like, great. Which direction are we going? She took me to Kost Castle, which is like on the way, and put me in this like panelak and was like, cool, you start work on Monday. It was a very strange experience. Not a lot of people speak English in Mlada Boleslav. That's what I've learned.
They do now, because...
They do now. There is a whole generation of children who speak fluent English because I'm very good at my job. I used to go to this like death metal bar and play darts and pool with people with beautiful beards just like your own.
Thank you.
Who would
you're
wear a
too kind.
lot of khaki and a lot of combat gear and didn't know how, we couldn't converse, but we had a great time. There was a jukebox, you could choose the music. We all had the same taste in music. It was a lot of singing. So that was great. And then what did I do after that? Oh, I went and got my teaching degree.
Okay.
Yeah, technically a qualified teacher.
Well done.
Thank you. It's hard. Don't do it unless you really want to. And then I moved to Macau. Yeah, travel a lot.
Okay.
Haven't even got to the art part yet.
Yeah. So how is Macau? Because you didn't tell us how Zimbabwe is. So
Zimbabwe, I was a child. I only have good memories. I just remember swimming, playing outside, couple of snakes, couple of really big spiders.
the hairy ones.
Yeah, the really like the big like baboon spiders. They're so big. They're like fleshy and like squishy. Their like skin goes
Ew.
horrible.
They cannot kill a human, right? I mean,
I don't
Can they
remember.
kill a human?
They are lethal. I remember.
They are lethal.
Yeah, I think they are. Because I have this kind of memory. Because it is like 25-ish years ago now. Of our dog outside. It was an outdoor dog, not an indoor dog. Who was by the back door, which was like a stable door, which you could open. And it was like a lot of gravel and cobbles and outside. And there was this giant baboon spider doing the thing where it's like got a huge body and it rears up and is like, I'm gonna get you. And the dogs are wonderful, but they're not smart. It didn't know it was there. So it's just going da 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 da. It would definitely kill the dog. I'm not sure about a human.
Okay.
And so I remember being about 6 or 7 and going, Mom, that dog is gonna get killed by a spider. I'm not sure how the story ends because I don't remember it. So there you go. There's some suspense for you.
Yeah, you should promise that you're gonna post. You're gonna ask your mom and post it for everybody that's subscribed to this channel and to her Instagram. We need to know the story. So
I will ask my mom.
Yeah.
She probably won't remember. She'll be like, "What are you talking about?" But I'll ask. I'll see if I can get an ending to that story because now I'm curious. I mean, I know the dog didn't die. I'm pretty sure the spider died. That's how the story should end.
Macau then.
Yeah. So.
This is Asia, I think.
Yeah, it's the Asian Vegas. It's 80 kilometers away from Hong Kong. It was another.
It's an independent city-state, something like this. Province, something.
Yes, it was Portuguese. So
Okay.
like Hong Kong was British, and then they gave it back, and they have this 50 years to play
I
with.
remember watching that on CNN Live,
Oh, I don't.
but it was like 99 or something.
Yeah, I know.
You were alive.
I was alive.
Probably
I
the
was
spider
9.
was happening
Yeah,
then.
I was 9. I was living in Zimbabwe. I didn't know that like Hong Kong existed. Yeah, so Macau is the Portuguese version, basically. But Macau is a lot closer to China, a lot friendlier. They haven't had the same troubles that Hong Kong has had. They're like, woohoo, China. So yeah, I moved to Macau. When I had the job interview, I didn't know where Macau was, which makes me sound incredibly ignorant, and I apologize to the world. But I now know where it is, and I could find it on a map in like 30 seconds.
Well done.
I know, right? Learning. Every day is a learning day. And I was working at a summer school in the UK, and I was going to be like 5 days late for training, but I was moving there with a friend. So she went 10 days early. She organized an apartment. She orientated the school, everything. And I turned up and I had everything ready for me. And I arrived, I was collected, and my jaw fell on the floor. I'd never seen like 70-story buildings that were covered in gold and marble and lights. And I'm from the countryside. And I mean, like English countryside and African kind of like suburbs. I had never seen anything like Macau. Still haven't actually seen anything like it. And I was teaching there. I was teaching grade 1 at an international school. It was amazing, but it was like living inside somebody else's like daymare or nightmare or something. You didn't know really what was going to happen on a day-to-day basis.
Does he get? I mean, the way you describe it now, and this metaphor with daymare, the nightmare, daymare. Does it? Can you? Is it so shiny that you don't realize it's night? Maybe. This is how
Absolutely.
I like it. Like I had this
nighttime,
flash.
The only time that we had nighttime was when there was a typhoon and all the electricity went out. That was the first nighttime, like for 2 days in 3 years. Have you seen the Disney's Pinocchio?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you know when the boys go to like that crazy place and they have an amazing time and then turn into donkeys? It's like that, except it just never ends and you never turn into a donkey. Yeah, so it's completely crazy. Have some amazing, incredible people that I met there. And that's where I started painting.
Because
Boom.
my question would have been, so you're a painter, we're going to start talking about your art. I'm really curious if you think that all these places have influenced your art in one way or another. Because I do believe that everything that you experience marks you in a way or another, right? I mean, if you're not an idiot, something should stay behind, something you will ponder or keep dear for the rest of your life, even if it's a smell or a memory.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Blah,
with that.
blah.
Blah, blah.
So for sure,
Absolutely, without
growing
a doubt.
up in Zimbabwe,
Yeah.
experiencing in British countryside and then
Yeah.
The Hobbit.
Yeah, the Hobbit. I did
And
go to
then
Hobbiton.
ending up in Macau. That was like the light explosion that gave birth to the art inside.
Yeah, in a way, it really did. Because as I liked to draw as a kid, I didn't kind of do much of it as a teenager. I was always like, oh, I'm going to be a writer. I'm going to be a poet. You have to write stuff down for that to happen, apparently. I went to I went to a workshop, a charity workshop.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Oh, do it. Go be my guest.
We just, we don't have a sponsor, but we really like Kozel.
Wouldn't it be great if they sponsored us? You.
Yeah, us. We're friends.
Yeah, so I went to a charity art workshop that was run by a friend of mine. And it was the first time I'd painted since my art GCSE when I was 15 or 16 years old. And I was now 26. So I hadn't touched a paintbrush in 10 years. And I didn't stop. Literally, I finished the art workshop. I went and I bought paints. And then I've been painting ever since. So that was 6 years ago. So I've been painting for 6 years. And I don't know. I had my own apartment, which I turned into a studio. I was living under and in and around all of these paintings. I had access to quite cheap materials because China. China. And incredible stores. They had everything. They just, you wanted it. They were like, we don't have it, but they have it. They don't have it. We know where we can get it, or we can get it by tomorrow.
You mean art supplies?
Art supplies, everything you could ever want. So I started painting with acrylics, and I started doing kind of just painting for fun. And then I would invite my friends over, be like, "Hey, come have beers, come paint, have some more beers, let's paint some more, let's go out and party." And then the next day, hungover, we'd look at our paintings and go, "Damn, we're not that bad at what we do." And then we'd be like, let's go get some beers and start painting again.
Do you think it was meant to be painting, or it could have been anything else? You just needed a medium to...
I think at that
Express
time it was
yourself.
painting. I think there was something about, I never didn't have paint on me somewhere, some item of clothing in my hair. I was never not covered in paint. And there was something about the kind of plasticity of kind of acrylics when they dried. Like everything I owned. I'm like, when I moved that apartment, they were actually selling it. And they were renovating the entire thing. So they didn't care about the fact that I had paint on everything: the floor, the walls, the ceiling, the stairs, the bed, you name it, there was paint on it. So yeah, the painting was like the tactility.
The Monica Mills Macau gallery.
Yeah. I mean, if only. So because I had kept like inviting my friends over and I had the biggest, most open, most messy space, I started doing workshops. I would make food. I'd tell everybody to bring their own drink, and I'll be like, a tin there. If you want to put some money in, do it. But it became a thing. It was like, when's the next one? When's the next one? I'm like, holy shit, I got to plan some stuff. So I started reading a little bit about art therapy, kind of different ways of pulling things out of people. Not in... kind of intentionally, but not intentionally. I was curious. I was interested. I would read something and I'd be like, let's try it. I have guinea pigs who are paying me to try this, who were also my friends. So I warned them beforehand. And yeah, I started having people who I didn't know coming to these things. And I was in love. I was in love with the whole space, everything that I was doing. I could have done it all day, every day, except teaching's hard and takes up a lot of time.
It does, and energy.
Whew, yeah, so...
But I would suspect that art is consuming somehow as well.
Yes.
I understand it's a happy way of...
Yeah, I found it actually more kind of exhilarating, actually. I think the teaching was like draining. I loved my students. I love those kids. They're incredible. But you get home after 6 hours and you're like, I need to go to bed.
Yeah.
I was younger then. I was just like, no, vodka, coffee, party, art. Now I'm like, bed. But no, when I was painting, I would just be like, I would be so high off probably the fumes, but also like the actual act of painting as well. And I would paint 5-6 paintings in a day, maybe 4 or 5 times a week. It would be weird for me to go more than 2 days without painting. And then my contract was up and I didn't want to renew it. Because I needed a break from teaching. I've been teaching for 3 years. I need to retire.
You're not yet supporting yourself as an artist since you were still teaching, right?
Yeah, exactly. So teaching was funding everything. And I did love it, but teaching is vocational. You can't have 2 vocations at the same time, or at least I can't.
Okay,
so
but art is a vocation as well. So
yes,
you're like,
exactly.
You just switched vocations.
Yeah, exactly. And so I wanted to move to Portugal. I have a lot of my family.
In Cascais?
I wish. But no, in the Algarve, of course. That's where all the bifa are. And my family are there. We've been there since the 80s. I think we're the original bifa. But my aunt, who had a farm, who is an artist, who is a yogi, who kind of does all these amazing things, sold her farm that year and was like, oh, my bad. That was terrible timing. So I was like, how and what do I do if I don't want to work full time and I want to do art, but I don't want to do too much because I want to find myself? Become a student.
Genius.
Become a student. So I applied to universities in the UK, Lisbon, Paris, Prague, Utrecht in the Netherlands, and...
That's actually a nice town.
Yeah, they didn't want me. I got a couple of rejections. Lisbon and Utrecht were like, yes, we will welcome you to the Bachelors of Arts, but not the Masters.
Okay.
And I have a bachelor's in teaching. I have a bachelor's in the English and literature and philosophy. So I was like, I don't want a third bachelor's. The UK said yes to taking me for a master's, but I didn't want to live at home. I haven't lived at home since I was 18. So I was like, I'll see where else is saying yes. Paris said yes. 15,000 euros for a year, and it was 2 years. No.
Plus rent.
No words. But it was nice. They sent me a little tote bag. It was great. And then Prague was like, yo, we'll take you.
Because Czech Republic really loves everybody.
They do. So I actually go to Prague College, which is it's an English university that has a campus here. So it's really small. It's really tiny. And actually I liked the fact that they were a little bit fussy. They were like, yes, we'll take you on the masters, but you don't have an art background. So you have to do a 1-year foundation year first. So
I since you brought it up, I think that what the people in Utrecht also wanted from you, like teach you the
basics,
the academic way of doing art, and then allowing you to follow a master, right?
Yeah,
that was the point.
Yeah, so
because art, even if it's art, and it should be like the expression that whatever you have inside, right?
It's definitely not that if you
it
study
is very academic.
Yeah. Well, I definitely understand that. I'm really glad that I did this kind of like, it wasn't a foundation year, it was like a bridging year. I did like half of the first year BA and half of the second year BA at the same time. And I didn't get a grade. I was just like a pass or a fail. So I could learn audio, video, like some sculpture stuff, painting stuff, mediums that I'd never tried. Because they're like, you only paint. And this is not, like Prague College is not just for like one medium. It's fine arts. It's all of the mediums. It's every kind of possible way that you could create something. Which I'm glad that I chose, because actually Paris was actually just for illustration and painting. So I'm happy with the direction I chose. And then I started the masters. What year are we in?
2021, I think.
So I started in 2019. So yeah, I'm 5 weeks away from finishing my 2-year masters.
Well done.
Be sick. Hold
Yeah.
on.
You have many projects going on, and this is
Yes.
actually how you became visible to me, and I wanted to.
I'm curious about how you found me.
Lavender Girls.
Amazing. Yes. That makes me very happy. Yes. Lavender Girls.
Because, go on. Sorry.
I read a book. I highly recommend reading to
You've
everybody.
graduated philosophy and literature only reading one book?
Yeah, of course. Didn't you? No, I recently read a book over the summer when I was in Portugal titled Growing Up Gay, Growing Up Lesbian. And
It's not the first book I would pick from a shelf.
I got it from a charity shop in the UK.
Okay. It was a free book.
Yeah, it was a very, very cheap book.
Paperback.
I have it here. You can borrow it
Who
if you
wrote
want.
it? Yeah, let me touch it.
So it's actually it's an anthology.
Oh,
And
yeah.
the prologue is by Martina Navratilova, actually. There's throw some Czech people in there for you.
Okay.
The really famous lesbian tennis player. Yeah.
Martina Navratilova.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Just checking.
By the way, maybe you can help us. One of the a signer of Carta 77, Jirina Broharova, just died. But she's the... She just died, I think.
Did she die?
No. It's if you check expas.cz, we can. Yeah.
That doesn't mean it's
because we need to do a shout out because these people had gender studies in 1991.
Yes! Good!
These people had fucking because like
Good!
So I'm looking at this book. We will cut some part of it. No, Dvořákova, Jirina something.
Šiklová?
No.
I was...
No. Yeah. How? 85. She died.
So she has died.
But she is a professor that actually started gender studies in Czech Republic in 1991. She was signer of Carta 77, which is this literature artsy group that Václav Havel started to fight the right. Am I saying it? It's not my history to
Cool.
to
I
fight.
did not know that.
Yeah. So look, this place was under Russians.
Yes.
Communists, blah blah blah, like all Eastern Europe,
Mm-hmm.
but this is Central Europe. Not to offend our Czech friends, because we've kind of offended them in the other episode.
Oh,
with
have
the-
you? That
Yeah,
doesn't surprise me.
the Mexican, not me, the Mexican, the lone Mexican Jose Moreno on comedian on YouTube. Please, he's got just 17 subscribers. We
Oh.
have 54, as Monica just pointed out. Um, well, but this is recorded on the 26th of May. It will air in June something, so maybe. This brings me back. What's her name? Jirina Šiklová.
Šiklová.
So besides Martina Navratilova, which I guess we all know, the blonde tennis player, I'm not really sure when she came out. If it was after, it should
Yeah, it
have
was
been after
after.
89, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But Czech Republic, besides Martina Navratilova, this woman, she died at 85, Jirina Šiklová, she was signer of Karta 77, which is basically the opposition, which Václav Havel was one of the people that built
wow.
around. It was just artsy circle of people writing plays, writing novels, doing art.
The best kind of people.
And she was the first one to introduce, I think, gender studies in Czech universities in 1991. She just passed away. So yeah, Czech Republic is, I love it for being so open.
It is very
in many,
open.
many ways. And if you've not experienced Prague as a drunk man, you should. So growing up gay, growing up lesbian, you were telling me that you picked up this book.
I did. I picked up this book in a charity shop last summer, and I read it on a beach in Portugal, and I started painting from it. I was reading all the stories.
So this is what gave birth to the
this
artistic
is-
explosion in Macau.
Kind of, it kind of directed me, because I used to paint a lot of just myself. I would have photographs of myself and then paint them. Very narcissistic. And then I moved to more...
Like your story from today from Instagram, I mean.
What? Me? Narcissistic? Never. No, I became a lot more abstract. I was doing figurative work, and I can copy something. I can do that. It feels like an exercise. It feels like something that I'm doing to practice and hone a skill, which is fantastic and fun. I enjoy, practicing
I
and
never
learning.
considered artistic the people that would just, they are this. I had a neighbor growing up.
The hyperrealists.
She was just copying. She never put a fucking banana on a table to paint it.
Oh, she'd
She
copy
was
from
always,
pictures.
from anybody. She could copy, to my mind at that time, she could copy anything. I remember a Bruegel.
Okay, that's not easy though. That's a
but I
serious
never
skill.
respected that, and there's a lot of people that do art just for like this, as you just mentioned it, like copying other people's art and never putting something out from their own.
But I think that kind of art has a
is
different
that art? That was my question.
absolutely, but it
it's
has a
hate now,
different
I'm
purpose.
stupid.
I think that kind of art is to kind of do something mechanical so that your brain can think about something else, rather than doing something creative where your brain is always thinking about the same thing. And those are two different things. It's both art. It's definitely art.
Okay.
But it's not, you're working different sides of your brain. Because actually that's when I was kind of started painting abstractly, I no longer had to think. It's like my brain turned off, which is a beautiful experience.
I have many ways of doing that to myself, but it is a beautiful experience. Everybody should.
I highly recommend painting every day instead of drinking every day.
Oh.
But yeah, no, both of it's definitely art. But yeah, it's just different skills. That's not something that I could do. I could do it once every couple of years. Coronavirus, I did it a little bit actually, and it's a good practice for something. And it's, if you want to not focus on what's in front of you, then it's great. Yes.
We are at episode 8. This is 19 to 11. We are at episode 8. This is 19 to the dozen. Please subscribe. It is the first time I'm bringing somebody back to the point. We were discussing Lavender Girls.
I'm glad you took note. Okay, this started a different series actually. So we
And
were
this is
talking
how
about,
this is why I wanted to sit down with you, Monica, because that's very interesting to me, and it's a subject that I don't find a lot of people that would accept a conversation or a dialogue with me.
Okay.
So you're very brave for accepting this.
That might say more about you than about me, though. Lavender Girls.
This is not the first time somebody tells me that.
Again, that might be a learning point for you. Told you, every day is a learning day. Lavender Girls was... I wanted to talk about in a visual way, without words, because words are hard. I wanted to visually create something that had frustrated me my entire life. Labels are fun. Gay, lesbian, pansexual, bisexual. I will take them all. Prefer queer, though, as it covers a multitude of sins. And I was so frustrated by the lack of representation that I had in mainstream cinema when I was growing up. There was nothing that you could find. I didn't have Netflix when I was a teenager.
Okay.
You didn't have Netflix when you were a teenager either.
I didn't have internet. I remember a world when I needed to call my play friends on a fucking how do you call those? Rotary phone.
A rotary phone or a dial-up telephone.
I was born in 1979.
Not
even in the
you
80s.
Look great for it. So it was something that had been kind of gnawing away at me subconsciously, because it kind of like reared its head in the last 2 years. It wasn't something I was always...
Wait. You felt that LGBTQ plus
representation
are not... Oh, okay. Representation is not... That's what you were talking, right?
Yes.
What do you mean by representation? You need you mean the number of artists that come from this community?
No, it's not. It's got nothing. Okay, so growing up as a queer teenager in the early 2000s, I didn't have any like kind of point to relate to. The points that I had to relate to, which are mentioned in the Lavender Girls documentary, were that song by Tattoo, where like the two girls are singing in the rain and they make out, and it is
the Russian song.
Yeah, exactly, right? Or kind of, I watched a lot of The L Word, which was this like incredible TV show. That was for the first time I could see myself. I'm like, oh, there's somebody else that likes girls. Yes, I'm not insane. So it's about having...
You are not having the lifestyle, though. It was something you felt, right?
Yeah, it was something that I felt. But and even though I never questioned myself, everybody else questioned me. And I couldn't go, hey, look at these people. They're also gay. It's fine. It's totally fine. I could just go like, ha, 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 and just, yeah, okay, maybe I'm doing it for attention. Or I... was called like many things because people didn't know what they were talking about. So it's not necessarily just representation for myself to understand who I am. It's so that other people who don't understand and don't get it, because they're, heteronormative or straight and whatever. And that's fine. If you don't see something, how are you supposed to understand it? Therefore, representation is needed, because if you see it, you kind of go, oh, it's okay. I did an interview a couple of weeks back with Lavender magazine in the UK, and we had this discussion about even bad representation is better than no representation, because it helps you...
So Dog Day Afternoon versus Milk?
I'm not sure if I get that reference.
Milk is a Sean Penn movie.
Okay, yes.
Dog Day Afternoon is the Al Pacino movie.
Okay, yeah, no,
and I think
haven't
he
seen
was
that.
okay.
I'm sorry, that's gonna go over my head.
Yeah.
But it's better to kind of see somebody who you can identify with, rather than just thinking you're entirely alone. Of course, social media can be a beautiful, wonderful thing, and you can find what you're looking for now. But 20 years ago, like 15 years ago, I didn't have that.
When did you? How does one know they're gay?
You just, I mean, without...
What
I don't
age?
know.
How did it happen?
I don't know.
Was your first kiss with a girl or with
Actually,
a boy?
it was. It was with a girl. So maybe I should have known probably from like quite a lot younger. But again, I didn't really see... I mean, I was quite young, so I didn't really see a lot of straight stuff either.
This
I was
was
watching
like-
cartoons.
This was New Zealand though, right?
No,
Or
Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe,
England.
you were 10. Or
I was
12,
had my first kiss when I
whatever.
was
Really?
Well, yes.
I had my first kiss like 5 minutes ago. Stan just kissed me. He said, "Don't worry, you can do this." And he kissed me. It was like,
I'm very happy for both of you. Stan, if you want to talk about it afterwards,
"Fuck
it's
you,
okay.
we're not a couple yet."
No, this was in the UK. This was in the
Okay.
UK, one of those, beautifully liberal
One
countries,
of those,
technically.
yeah. It is.
It is now. But again, this is like you think, like if you think of a cycle, attitudes change, people fight for their rights, eventually the law changes, but the attitudes of the majority still hasn't changed. That changes with a lot of time. And honestly, we're not there yet. It's like
There were.
we're not there where we have exactly the same rights as everybody else.
Okay.
In any country, anywhere.
Any country, anywhere?
No, we don't have the exact
It's
same
not going to
rights.
happen in our lifetime, Monica.
I'm aware of that, but it's going to
Any
happen
country,
sooner if
anywhere.
we fight for it.
No fucking way.
That's depressing. Don't say that. Hold on. Let me drink my Kozel.
Yeah.
Thank you for helping me get through this difficult time.
Kozel, we really love you. We're going to do this one more time, and then we're going to stop, and we're going to switch to something fucking else. Because if you're not paying us...
We're going to stop putting it in there.
Do you need acrylics?
Maybe.
Kozel, at least pay for her fucking acrylics.
That would be great. Thanks.
We were talking Lavender Girls, Monica.
Yes. The need for the representation of not just lesbian, but queer characters is so that we are more than just an idea, that we actually are treated the same as everybody else. So we are considered humans. Which unfortunately, the fact that there is legislation that categorizes as something other means that without that representation, either people forget about us or people are hostile towards us, or we just forget that we have a community. And I mean, I think COVID and this whole like ridiculous lockdown and this isolation has really shown everybody how much humans are social. We need other people.
Didn't we know this already?
You'd think we did. We did, but it's become, I think personally, it's become so much more apparent about how much we need relationships with other people and positive ones. So knowing that there is a community out there, that there are other people who are like you is really very important to me. That's something that I think would have benefited my youth. Ooh, youth. Wow. Nah. I feel like I've just aged like 25 years by saying that
Would you educate a 35-year-old hetero?
I can educate a 38-year-old hetero.
That's fine. I'll take that. So, I know where the L comes from.
Yep.
LGBT, LG. I know the G.
Yeah.
B is bi, I guess.
Bisexual, yeah.
Okay. LGBT is trans.
Trans, yeah.
Q is queer.
Queer.
I have problems with that. What is the difference between...
Okay.
What is queer?
Okay, I would use, for me personally, and everybody chooses their labels differently. For me, queer is more of an umbrella term. So queer would be anybody who fits underneath. I like to call it the alphabet soup for all the letters because, I mean, there are a lot of letters. Queer for me fits like synonymously with LGBTQ+, but not everybody likes the word queer because it used to be really derogatory. It used to be something that was offensive, and we're taking it back. It's now our word, like fuck you for using it as a slur, basically.
Okay.
And yeah, we're celebrating that word, and by using that word, for me, it just means I'm not heteronormative. For me, that's what it means, as simple as that. I don't know what I like. I like people. I don't like people, but I like some people. Few people. And their gender, their sexuality, it has nothing to do with it. It's to do with the chemistry that I have with another person. And that is for me, I cannot speak for other people, but generally,
How do you define yourself then, Monica?
I interchangeably use the term bisexual or pansexual. Not everybody does that. Some people prefer one over the other. Some people prefer a difference because bi obviously has the connotation of two, but two doesn't mean this kind of like opposite spectrum of male and female. It would be your own gender and another gender. Whereas pansexual.
Wait.
Okay, let's do some maths here. Come on.
Well, yeah. So I don't know if this will stay or not.
Go for it.
But there's more than two genders.
Oh my God.
Seriously,
yes.
I mean.
Okay. I have a question. What is gender to you? Yeah.
I guess very raw. It would be the genitalia you're born with that gives you the gender.
Okay. And that's not a incorrect answer.
There are like the hermaphrodites.
Ooh, we don't use that word anymore. We use the word intersex. Which is what the I comes from, the LGBTQIA plus.
Okay, so I'm really sorry. So if you're born with a
different chromosome, that therefore means that you are not fitting within this binary idea, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Biologically, you're not fitting into the.
May I?
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so I don't inherently disagree with you. I was brought up with the exact same idea. Male, female, they show me the animal world. They're like, this is how it is. Done. End scene. However.
Very convincing so far.
However, if you look at any other species on the planet, they do also have multiple genders. This is I do not remember, but I will find it in a break. This incredible scientist who does a TED Talk.
I think Joan can Google it.
Who does this incredible TED Talk, and she's a biologist. She's a bisexual biologist. That should be her tagline. And she does this TED Talk about different animals that basically show. There's a frog that has 37 different types of gender. There's a jellyfish that has it basically. And I will finish this before you interrupt me and ask all the questions. And basically, it's this idea that it's not what is the word I'm thinking for? It's not a binary system. Male, female don't exist exclusively. So you have biology, you have sex, you have literal genitalia, right?
Literal genitalia.
I hope, well, maybe. I don't know. Do you have literal genitalia? I didn't need to know that. I have a visual.
That's why I grow my beard.
This is why we have Kozel.
And this is
to
why
take
we
away
have
that moment. And that then is what doctors would assign your sex at birth. Now, sex, gender presentation, and sexuality are not the same thing. Not a single one of them is the same thing.
Right, but as you say, like the doctor is in charge of this thing. He just
yes, it's her with the hair.
just takes the baby out and would say, "This is a boy or a girl. This is how it goes." I think
it has a penis. It has a vulva. They're gonna assign it the words, the semantics, boy and girl.
That baby
Yes.
has no idea about sexuality in that very second.
Probably because it's just been squeezed through a vagina. It probably got a
No,
lot
it's
going
because,
on its head
you know,
and
like,
then-
I think as a baby you grow consciousness at about, I don't know.
Oh, that's another fun topic. That's a really fun topic.
Okay.
About when does a baby get consciousness. I like that topic. But that's not for now.
Antonia Foster.
Yes, her. Forster.
So,
Antonia Forster.
TEDx speech, Antonia
Forster.
or Antonio?
Antonia
Foster.
Yeah.
She will talk about how in the animal world you can not use the dichotomy of
binary system.
binary, not dichotomy. Okay, that's something I will watch.
Brilliant. Yeah, it's fantastic. It's really interesting. I lost my train of thought.
We were talking about this, and we were talking.
Okay.
You were trying to educate me about about this binary system in which whatever. So you take out the baby, and the doctor will
I've never done
assign.
that. I should never be allowed to
The
do that.
doctor. There are these places
Yes,
which look like buildings, but
They're like hospitals, right?
yes,
I
they're
think I've heard of
factories
them.
for babies because that's all they do. They say they're
Factories
hospitals,
for babies.
but it's actually
Oh,
where
that
you
takes
go
away the romance.
to take the baby out. Yeah, that's where the baby gets born. They will not
Sometimes.
treat any other things
Oh,
there except this.
Yeah, okay.
So it's like
I don't
kind
know.
of a factory for babies.
Only baby that
So there is this guy who's or girl or whatever.
Baby. Just go with baby.
There is this person that will help a woman. So far, can I say this? Can I say that women give birth?
You can say it, not exclusively, but yes, you can say
What do you
women
mean
do
not exclusively?
What if you have a trans man who has kept his womb and uterus, so technically can give birth? And that's definitely happened. I can't remember the name of the guy who did it. It was about 12 years ago. So he identifies as a man, but kept his entire reproductive organs, knowing full well that trans people don't have any rights, or very few rights, depending on where you come from, if you want to actually give birth, get IVF, have a child. Any of those things is really, really difficult if you are part of the queer community. Because do you know what? We don't have the same rights as you.
Look, I agree with that. Can we fact check this man?
Yeah, he exists. I know.
I mean, it is
was
okay.
a long time
Okay,
ago, yeah.
fine. But like, look.
I want to Google. Damn it! I don't have.
Maybe
So
we
hard to have
can
a
cut this out
conversation.
if you don't want this.
No,
but
it's fine.
seriously, I mean, a biological woman
Mm-hmm.
with vulva, vagina, ovaries is pregnant. I guess I don't care how. Okay,
Fair enough.
but she identifies as a man, so
Okay.
he actually is going through the pregnancy, delivering a baby.
Mm-hmm.
And I cannot say that that's a woman that's doing that. I would be disrespectful.
Honestly, I think
Because
that
would be
it
a
would be-
man. So a man gave birth to a baby. This is like a headline.
it was a headline,
You've
actually.
heard it first on 19 to the dozen.
I think you heard it first in 19.
I did.
It is.
No,
it-
this is way too weird for me.
Okay.
So
it's okay.
educate me.
I will try, because obviously I can only speak for the research I've done and what I've learned and what I've tried to understand myself, because it is a conversation that is worth having and that hasn't been in the forefront in our faces.
And that's why it's on YouTube.
And it's on TikTok, and it's on Instagram, and it's on, you name it, every social media. But that's why this conversation needs to be had, because even people who really want to understand it and are doing everything they can, we still make faux pas. But I personally think that this cancel culture that is a thing that exists now, oh my God, how dare you? You made a mistake. You're the worst person in the world. If I make any mistakes, and I guarantee that I will in this whole conversation with you, it's because I want to learn. I want to know more. And I love the fact that you want to know more too, because, you know, every day is a learning day. That's like my fucking catchphrase. Hire me. I'm a great teacher. So yes, bit of a mindfuck, but does it affect you in any way, shape, or form if that person that is giving birth prefers to be called he, she, John, Sarah, Wayne, Bogdan?
No.
Therefore, who gives a why is it an issue?
You're right. It's not an issue. My life did not change. I mean, maybe a little
But
bit.
for
Like
other
the 3
people-
seconds, I just... But I'm back.
Good. That's great. I loved you for those 3 seconds. But for other people who it does affect them, it makes them feel that they can identify with somebody. It makes a positive difference to them. I personally think that everybody who says that, think of the children and, oh my God, I hate this. This is the worst thing in the world. I don't, it's not for you. I use, English is terrible. We don't have that like plural word. Not for you, but for other people.
Yeah, that's fine.
And
That's fine.
I don't understand. It doesn't negatively affect you or impact you in any way other than having an educational conversation. Therefore, who cares? Like, let people have children, have the lives that they want to live, as long as they're not actively, you know, hurting somebody else.
Look, to me, the situation is like this. And anyway,
Digressed.
we've all seen South Park when Randy Marsh, I think he was identifying as a dolphin, and he even had that operation and so on. So whatever, I get that.
Much easier if
we've
it's a
been-
cartoon.
Not to mention about the Arnold Schwarzenegger Danny DeVito movie when one of them gets pregnant. I don't remember which one.
Oh, I remember
and
that
gives
movie.
birth. So it happened. Arnold is fucking Arnold. Mr. Universe, of course. He got pregnant with himself. But my point is,
Oh my God, the 90s were great.
yeah, the 90s was great. Were great. It all ended up in Matrix, though. 99. Wachowski brothers, which are now
yes,
the
they're both
Wachowski
women.
fucking sisters.
Yes, I love them.
Fucking hell. Sorry, no offense to the community, but they are ugly girls.
Oh, you can't.
They are
like,
fucking ugly girls. I would not fuck the Wachowski sisters.
I don't think they'd fuck
Though
you either.
I would suck, and I probably, this will not be okay
No,
for
this
you
is
to-
definitely not
But
okay.
I would suck John Malkovich. If there would be a man in this world that I would suck, it would be John Malkovich.
well, there you go. You're proving
go.
straight away that there is
Am I
actually
gay?
no...
Am I?
Maybe you're on the spectrum because there
Am I
is
on the
no
spectrum?
fucking binary system. It doesn't exist.
love
It's a social
boobs.
construct.
If John will tell me, Bogdan, I would let you suck your my dick, but please, I love boobs. So I would become trans. Would I become trans?
You would be part of the trans community, yeah.
Wow. Jesus, this is not staying. Or maybe it is as a blooper. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, there's a
I
couple of
don't
things
know.
there that
I
if
don't
I were
know.
you, I wouldn't put out
I
into
don't
the
know.
world.
Yes, right? No.
Um,
It is.
Best of all the world.
Because you know why it's called? You know why it's called
Oh,
Joanna?
sorry.
Because anybody would suck John Malkovich's dick. Seriously. I mean, the guy is awesome.
He is also.
Not in black sales, but in
They might lick his nipple.
but
if
but
he's lucky.
look, fine, not a lesbian. But what if John Malkovich would identify with a girl,
As a girl.
as a girl, whatever? Would that not be lesbian hate?
No?
No, because that's also personal. Like,
Yeah,
Like,
because also
so
there
you would
there
just
would-
like not like him because not because
not
he's a
into him.
man, but because he's an ugly lesbian or what?
or yeah.
yeah, or a person that you're not into.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right. I mean,
yeah.
yeah.
'Cause, you know,
Like the
that's-
other million girls, I
Yeah.
don't want to fuck.
I'm not- yeah,
necessarily. I
exactly
get it.
that.
Yeah.
Saying like a yogini, but it's what inside that counts.
It's the inside that counts.
Yeah, exactly.
Personality.
Personality. Who? Yeah. So, what were we saying? John Malkovich, blah blah.
Before
No,
that.
Before that.
Let's go on a
Go
different
back to-
tangent.
You want to go back to the artist parts?
Yes, the artsy part. Look.
Artsy. Makes it
Artsy.
sound so professional.
No, okay, so the man gave birth, blah blah.
Yeah, so we talked about the man giving
Look,
birth. Okay.
to me, because I understand the need of awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And the way I understand the need of awareness as a hetero man is the following situation, which friends of mine, which are a gay couple, explained it to me.
Mm-hmm.
And this is wrong. This is what is wrong with the legislation today. And I think that 99.9% of the people would support this. Is, for example, that you are lesbian or gay, you have your partner, 12 years, 15 years, 20 years together, that partner needs some medical intervention. You are not part of his immediate family.
Mm-hmm.
You are not allowed to be there.
On their
you know,
deathbed, you're not allowed
whatever.
in the hospital. You're basically a stranger.
This is something that fucking every straight man on the planet, every straight girl on the planet can relate to. Going back to the point that Joanna made when we were off camera, that you made while we were on camera talking about Lavender Girls, is that you need to bring out your sexuality and whatever tags, or how do you call this things, he, she, that, whatever, all pronouns, anything else that you want to bring out. It is because when you were growing up, you had this thing that something is that you're not the norm, whatever the norm meant. So you didn't know what it felt like until we were
You didn't
talking.
know what it felt like to be part of something. You were always excluded, no matter what it was. No matter whether you were in the changing rooms and the girls were like, "Oh, you can't look at me. I caught you staring," or you would be, watching for me, a rugby game in England, and people would just say things, and you would hear these like ridiculous sentences. Oh, I bet you like that. Oh, not her. She doesn't like guys, or something ridiculous. And if it was,
Jock talk.
yeah, I know, but you know what? 10 years of it can get a bit much. 5 years of it can get a bit much. Everybody has different breaking points. Yeah, this is a great book, by the way.
What my point was is that I understand the need of representation, but now from what I believe, no, I'm not going to talk about the point of the hetero world. I'm going to talk about my opinion.
Okay, thank you.
It's better like this.
It is.
Wow.
You can't speak
I
for
just
all
had
hetero
like a-
males either.
Yeah. So from my point of view, I totally understand this, and I repeat, it's a situation in which somebody is on the deathbed, their partner cannot be there. It's a situation in which, for some reason, you're supporting somebody to go through school, blah blah. If you would be the norm, typical. If you would be, thank you. If you would be a typical family, then at a divorce, you would get something. You would be taken care of. Blah blah blah. I understand the legislation is not there for this particular cases, and this is what I would always vote for, support, and so on.
Okay, thank you.
My point is, or what? No, it's not my point. But what I'm struggling with is this weirdness that comes also from the same community, LGBT plus, LGBTQ,
the plus part, maybe.
I plus whatever, the whole umbrella. So my point is, you guys do have an agenda. That's obvious, and it's normal to have it because, as you said, until not so long ago, it was illegal, for you to be yourself, which is damn right stupid, man. Nobody should make laws and tell you how to live. Like, I understand this. I totally understand this. Okay? But when the chatter on social media is I have a dick, but I identify as a girl, and I need to pee in the girl toilet, and this goes on forever and ever, and this is the loudest thing that comes out. Or then I guess at one point for me it feels that you're not talking to us, you're just screaming your identity forward. And in order for you guys for everybody to be in a world where they feel comfortable, I guess you need to talk to the majority, whatever that majority means. Even either it's, you know what I mean?
I do.
It's a positive thought. I'm not.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
please do not get triggered.
No, I'm not triggered.
Because the system today is that we elect some representatives, corrupt or not, that make some laws on which we abide. This is how the system works.
Yeah, but just
right?
because they're laws doesn't mean that they're correct.
No, but I think, and I hope for that your aim is to be able to have the same rights.
Yeah.
Right? So that means changing the law.
Yeah.
It doesn't really mean a revolution because percentage-wise you would not win.
Agreed. But I don't think every revolution has been won with the biggest number.
What I meant is like you cannot change it by force. You have to play by the system. Whatever the system is today.
All right.
And it's unfair to you as it was unfair to all the other people that needed to change the system. Throughout the history, it's not the first time when it happens. It's the first time when it probably has this sexual connotation. But there's always been...
marginalized groups.
Exactly.
Yes.
So my point is...
What is your question?
No, my point is... If you want to talk to me as a straight man, bring out that good story. Don't, because that's how I started. I started that for me, where I shut down on this is like this example that the girl that gave birth to a boy identifies with a man. I understand that. Okay, fine.
I feel like you got that flipped, but okay.
The other way around. Yeah, whatever.
No, okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
I can understand
why
the
not
struggle.
Change? Why not focus on changing one thing? Okay, you do you.
Yeah. I got your point.
Okay, thank you.
You're right. There are many different laws, and it changes country to country. And normally, what countries have is they have like a the bordering countries are relatively similar, and then if you go too far away, it kind of gets a little bit more extreme. Basic geography, basically how kind of cultures work. Yes, you're right. There are far more important things than a bathroom. There is the brilliant metrosexual website, which I will also send to you. You're going to get a lot of references after this chat, who did the gingerbread person. And he created something that would, like a graphic that would help for people to understand kind of the different aspects of the conversation that we're having in a visual gingerbread format, child-friendly and everything. It was great. However,
even just the fact that this thing can be child-friendly, it's scary fucking hell. Seriously.
what? I don't understand that. Every single Disney movie is a girl and a guy end up together. How is that any different? We're not scary.
Disney, I don't know.
Oh, you had a deprived childhood. That's showing.
I grew up in communist Romania. What do you want?
I cannot relate to that. Therefore, it's wrong, and I don't understand it, and I need to have a podcast about it.
Was bad.
No, so I understand that in the scale of things that matter, where the toilet aspect is could be considered pretty low on the spectrum, because compared to being allowed to exist, it's, you know, a different scale. However, do you know what's something that you need to use every single fucking day is a fucking toilet. I am allowed to swear, right? Cool. And have you ever been told that you can't use a bathroom?
Yeah. Because I was not a customer at that place, that's why.
Therefore, I feel that's perfectly acceptable.
Therefore, I bought a fucking coffee, which I didn't want.
Also perfectly acceptable. But if you have a space where all you want to do is something that, if you want to talk biology, every single biological creature on this planet excretes and urinates different ways. I don't know enough about biology. Again, watch Andrea Forster. But that's something that is taken away from us. It's a fucking toilet.
Look,
But there are
have you
laws
not
in
been to
place.
parties where you've used other, like,
Yeah, I don't give a shit. I just want to use
nobody
the toilet.
cares.
But
It
this is
shouldn't be a conversation.
I agree. But it is because people are taking away a right. That's the problem. It's not that we want to use it. It's that people don't want us to use it. That's where the problem is. It's a toilet. But if people take that away from you, then you have fewer places that you can actually go to the bathroom. Done. It's that simple. And sometimes you just gotta go.
Do you agree that Czech Republic is like super open and super...
Ooh, no.
No? Have you had hate in Czech Republic?
Yeah.
Except this one?
I won't count you as hate. I'll count you as I'm
Thank
working
you.
towards my good karma for today.
Thank you. You're learning, old man, something. Teaching.
Heterosexual normative aggressiveness.
Really? Is this
I
your
would say
definition of
heteronormative.
Czech Republic?
No, you.
Me. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine. I can live with that.
Personally, I haven't had anything, but I have had friends who have here in the Czech Republic. And it's...
Will your friends beat me up on the streets when I'll be famous because of this?
Oh, honey.
No, it's the other way around. They beat up the gays.
Okay.
No, he's talking about... Yeah, never mind. I'm not explaining that one. No, I haven't, thankfully. Again, I have also been here for most of coronavirus, so haven't had to experience much else other than the inside of my four walls. But no, I do. Like, when we have been out to friends and to Patra, which are incredible, amazing, welcoming places, you talk to people and they tell you horror stories about being here. As much as the Czech Republic is relatively open compared to a lot of other countries in the world, yeah, they're like, yeah, you can be gay, totally fine. Civil unions, totally fine. Oh, but what was that wonderful politician? I don't know his actual name. I can only remember Potomio. What's his actual name? Yeah. Okamura.
But he's not representing.
No, of course he's not. But he
has a gay brother.
He has a gay brother, I know. He stole my line. I told you that.
I don't remember.
It was only a week ago. since 2019, they have been discussing whether it should be legal for same-sex couples to get married here. And obviously coronavirus came up, and I can understand that everything kind of got put on the back foot, and completely understandable. Coronavirus, no one expected that. But they're beginning to bring it back into Parliament. And as far as I understand, that they have a 4-step process where it gets discussed, and then they kind of vote on it, and it gets discussed, and they vote on it. And so they've just had the first discussion. It hasn't been voted on yet. In 2019, the vote was actually in the majority, but obviously a lot of things can happen in 2 years. And also there's an election coming up. And
October.
You guys have a lot of old conservative people. So that's a lot of votes. So having people within the party say that they would rather defenestrate, such a Czech thing to say, than be adopted by a gay couple. It just goes to show that the attitude within this country, as progressive as it might attain to be, they don't want us to have the same
You just
amount of rights.
want the whole hand. You're not happy with the finger. That's
Are
what it
you?
is. No, look. If they are going to accept
Civil partnership has already
Yeah.
been accepted since 2006.
no.
It's not civil partnership in the same way.
Marriage.
Not the same thing.
If they're gonna accept marriage, I'm telling you, it's the same idea that I've been just, do not talk about adoption. To me, I think that would be a stopping point. I mean, if you
Okay.
put it in the same bundle, it might not pass.
Okay.
But if you put just marriage there, it will pass. Because, as you've said, East, Central, and Eastern Europe is full of old conservatives. I'm the young one of them.
I know. We're just
Right?
waiting for that generation to
So my
disappear.
point is, my point is, don't bundle them.
We're not. Actually, do you know what? We're not. The LGBTQ kind of rights group here actually didn't. They weren't wanting to kind of bundle everything together. They're doing it step by step. But the Czech government has actually turned around and said, we will only consider the adoption thing if the marriage
passes.
goes through.
Which
okay,
is
fair
what
enough.
I said. It's cool.
Yeah, which honestly, I don't. In the UK, it was the other way around. They actually went through the adoption first because...
Seriously?
Yeah, because they said, why does it matter what your sexuality is? Because it's not a sexuality issue. It is the child needing somewhere to live and getting it out of a system that is more important than someone's sexuality.
You understand
And
people would...
disagree with that. Yeah, I don't have time for those people.
That's fine.
So I can't remember the dates off the top of my head. I do have stuff I could check. But so the UK went around it a different way. Adoption rights are not sexuality rights. Children need somewhere to live. They need a loving home. Done. Marriage rights, on the other hand, I mean, personally, I'm not for the whole institution. But if people want to get married, be my guest. I mean, I'm against my straight friends getting married as well. No, I'm joking. I love you guys. I can't wait to come to your wedding. Cut this. Train of thought.
Marriage.
Yeah, if I can understand separating the two because they are two different issues. Personally, I don't think that adoption is something that should be affected at all by sexuality, as long as do the checks, do the background checks, make sure the person is not somebody
think-
different. But do that if they're straight as well. Like shouldn't matter at all what you want, who you want to be with, because hopefully all you're looking for is an adult consenting partner who loves you as much as you love them.
I agree.
I don't want to drop your mic on the floor, but boom.
Do you want to end it here?
No, I don't, but I was just like,
Oh,
nah.
Kozel didn't say anything. We've switched to passion. The discussions were passionate enough. This is a somewhat artisan brewery. If you want to know about Czech beer, there's a show I follow on YouTube. It's called Beer with Tamir. If you want to know about how Egypt feels like to two Romanian boys that went there, one of them. Anyway, Tangents with Mike and Kalin, on Kalin and Mike. Moldovan Abroad is another channel we like. Monica_Mills.
Woohoo!
Lavender Girls, do they have?
No, Lavender Girls is on Vimeo. We have Mojo Stickers on Instagram. We have Monica Mills on Instagram. We have Art Circle Crew on Instagram. And mostly we have a lot of events here in Prague. We have I've actually got a screening of Lavender Girls.
You actually should do a shout out for something that is in June something.
I have 2 shout outs to do for June. My June is
Because
really
this
busy.
will air. This is episode
Eight.
8. This will air on the 2nd of June or
perfect.
the first Sunday of June.
Yeah, I have 2 shout outs then. So on the 9th of June, we're doing a Lavender Girls screening at Art Together. We will be showing, exhibiting the paintings. We will be showing the first part of Lavender Girls. And if you come, you might have a little surprise too. Then I'm also exhibiting my sculptures and my Lavender Girls again here at Pragovka on the 17th of June. So it's a busy month. And yeah, I'll be showcasing all of the paintings. I'll be showcasing my sculptures, which actually deal more with LGBTQ rights. The countries I'm looking at is here, the Czech Republic, plus England, Portugal, Hungary, the Cameroon, Mexico, and the United States. So it's very diverse, where we are almost celebrated, and also where the queer community is not allowed to exist. So yeah, it's quite heartfelt, and yeah, it would be amazing to have as many people as possible to come and support us.
But before we talk about your art, now that this is a wonderful introduction, did you say the dates and the places?
9th of June at Art Together, 17th of June here at Pragovka.
This place, we filmed a little bit as we were coming in. This looks... This is at the almost outskirts of Prague. It looks very Eastern, Central and Eastern European, my Czech friends. It's a former factory.
Yo,
that
it used to be a
actually
car
the
factory.
city hall just repurposed the old factory building into this buzzing, effervescent art studios.
So Pragovka, we have the cafe downstairs. It has 3 different galleries. They have events all the time. And then what they do is they actually rent out the higher floors to artists. I couldn't even tell you how many artists there are here. I know that I'm part of a cohort there's 10 of us in total. And we have 2 rooms. I lucked out that actually because of the coronavirus, we were only allowed 1 person at a time. So I was able to kind of commandeer this whole room to myself. Which is probably unfair and wouldn't have happened without coronavirus. So, silver lining. And they actually have an exhibition going on right now called Collaborace, which was an open call to all of the artists here to showcase their work.
The white trucks outside, are we there?
No, the white trucks outside are actually a long-term installation. Collaborace is it's new. It only opened on the 8th of May, actually. And it showcases all of the artists that have used this space or are currently using this space. And you have everything from audio to painting to sculptures to installation art to video art, you name it, it's there. And it's a phenomenal space to exhibit your work. And they have workshops, they have exhibitions, they have kind of showcases, they do screenings, they have meeting rooms. It's an incredible place to come and visit.
Well done, Czech Republic, for supporting art in this way, and this is something that at least Romania should look into. I mean, old factories which are no longer functioning, those spaces can be repurposed, and they give so much value back to the city and the community and so on. It is amazing, yeah. What we do home is we let them go down of age, and then we build panelaki, but the new panelaki,
the
new
fancy
block
ones,
of the fancy panelaki on it. So it's basically lost in a way.
Yeah. No, the word we use for this kind of area in English is a brownfields, which I didn't really know. My dad told me about it when I was kind of explaining this area to him. And this whole area is almost desolate, but they have the beer fest down at the bottom, which has the best burger I've ever had in my entire life. They only sell 1 burger. and it's the best one. They don't sell any others because they don't need to. And it's a meal for a day. And it's amazing that we've been able to have these outdoor areas, considering that we're still not allowed to go inside. So
True.
yeah, it's been a haven.
No,
or an
although
oasis.
the galleries have opened, the museums have opened,
Yeah.
some of the cinemas have opened. I think the only thing that's missing right now in Czech Republic is eating inside.
Yeah.
Because the weather is
14th
not okay.
of June.
And bars and like clubs, the underground
the-
places.
The fun places.
The fun places,
The
yeah.
fun
The
places.
fun places.
Friends, Patra, shout out. Woohoo, can't wait to come and visit you in 3 weeks.
Yeah. So I really, really, really like your oils.
Thank you.
To me, I've told you this before. It looks like taking a picture with a
Like a blurred.
blurred, yeah.
Yeah, that was exactly the reason. That was exactly the point behind what I wanted to do. I researched a ton of different, initially like LGBTQ plus movies. Like that's a whole genre.
Okay.
We're a genre now. We're fancy. Why we're a genre, I don't understand, but never mind. And I decided that it made more sense to me to stick with lesbian representation, the women on women, because I didn't identify in the same way. With kind of the masculine energy. That wasn't something that I actually identified with. And also there's, what I realized is there is far less female lesbian representation showing relationships in the same way that there are male ones. I didn't want to look at television because television has it's just a much different audience because you can get people in different ways, and it's like covert, right? Like mainstream cinema, you have these billboards and these posters that are everywhere and they're in your face, and you can't not know about it. Whereas, TV, DVDs, television series, if it's after 10, then maybe if you're lucky you'll get a gay character. You had one all along.
Brokeback Mountain,
Yeah, it was a beautiful, beautiful movie.
shot in Romania.
Was it?
Really?
No way.
Yeah, next to the
beautiful
Dracula
scenery. Really stunning.
Yeah.
Can't wait to travel again.
New Zealand mountains have nothing on Romanian mountains.
Ooh, I don't know about that. I'll have to go to Romania and then I will compare and I'll come back to you with that.
Art.
I focused on 21st century movies that I kind of would have grown up with, or were close enough in age that I was like, okay, I was definitely questioning my sexuality at this point. And I wanted to go international. I've lived in 6 countries. I was like, there's no way I'm just going to do like British movies, or there's no way I'm just going to do like American Hollywood movies, even though those obviously, for me anyway, are more mainstream. So I did a bunch of research. I trolled through every single, the 30 best lesbian movies you should ever watch before you die. And what I gathered was that there's a lot of romances. I'd say if in that 30 movies, I'd say probably about 28 of them are romances. You don't get a movie where you just have a gay character who exists and is part of like a fantasy or an action movie.
You don't
or
get
crime.
a gay noir.
Yeah, I haven't.
There's
had
no gay
not
detective going to find somebody like in Rain. Like
Not that I found.
Obscure
And
Life.
if anybody has movies that they are yelling at me right now, going, "But what about this one?" Please subscribe, send a little message, and we all know he's going to be like, "Look, you didn't know about this one," and I will then watch it. So I kind of I foraged through the lesbian movie scenes, and I watched a lot of movies that had lesbian characters, and I was specifically looking for the moment of coming out where they were like, "Oh my god, I've just realized I'm a lesbian." If that was the scene, fine, go for it. But also just where it is acknowledged, like where it is blatantly stated in the movie that I am gay. Full
Because
stop. Period.
For that community, coming out is
It's a thing. Have you
it's
ever
like
had to come out?
No.
Yeah.
Like an asshole.
Oh,
like
you didn't have to. We all knew. We all suspected. We talked about it behind your back. But no, exactly. Coming out is a thing that you can't fathom the idea. Of course, you can imagine. Everybody has an imagination. You can go, maybe
No, I
it would
agree,
be
you
like that.
cannot.
But you
You
cannot
cannot.
fathom
Yeah,
it. You cannot
I agree,
feel
you
it.
cannot.
And I don't
Because
know.
the way I see it, and do please educate me a
I
little bit
will
more.
do my best.
Okay, is because it's not really about you. It's about your parents, your siblings, right? That's why the stress is there. Because you've already, in order to come out, you have to accept yourself, right?
Yeah.
You cannot come out like halfway, right? Can you come out with a pinky? No.
I think some people have.
You have to go Liberace on it, right? You have to.
Okay, even
with
I've
the
not gone
feathers
Liberace
and
on it.
everything, right? Like, da-da-da. If you can have a marching band as well.
Hey,
but
if I could, I
think,
would.
look, I really think it's hard. It's not about me. Is it hard because of the people around you? Why is it hard to come out? Is it hard because the society will judge you? Is it hard? What is the hardest? Tell me about it.
So I think there are multiple facets to the difficulty. Yes, I think actually the first one is yours to yourself. That is the initial one, the first one where you go, holy shit. And it's not like, yay, I'm gay. That's not your first thought. Your first thought is, oh, fuck. I have to tell the world that I'm gay, and I know that the world isn't particularly accepting, no matter where you come from. No matter where you come from, your first thought isn't, yay, I'm gay. Your first thought is, silent screaming, only dogs can hear it kind of thing. Or at least even for me, where I kind of never questioned my sexuality, I think the Lavender Girls video was probably my biggest coming out to my parents.
Lavender Girls video is very good. Don't tell me that your parents just saw the video. You didn't have the talk?
So the talk was very different with my family. I never said that I was gay. I never said that I was anything. I was just like, hi, this is my girlfriend. And like, oh, this is my boyfriend. Or like, I dated this person. I never said the words BT dubs. I like women, or I like men, or I like everything in between, or I like everything, or I like nobody. Because I come from quite a religious background. They're quite Catholic. And they were very, very conservative. But I didn't talk to them about like my sex life, period, because why would you talk to your parents about that? I don't know, British conservatism in there. I think actually now, I think it's great to talk to your parents about that. I would do things differently. But that's not the way that I was brought up. That's not the way that they were brought up. We change things with generations. So I didn't talk to them about my sex life, period.
Did they talk to you about your...
They gave me some beautiful books
They
that
did,
were
no?
very well illustrated, and I know how babies are made, I think. Ugh. Haven't read those books in about 20 years, so might need to read them again.
Are you going to have a baby? Are you thinking about having sometimes a baby? Do you see a baby in your future?
Not
Sometimes?
in my immediate future. No, because I'm a poor artist. Please buy my paintings.
Do not tell me you're not having a baby because you're
I'm
poor.
not.
That's stupid.
No.
Babies are not burdens.
No, my God, no, not at all. Not at all. Babies are not a burden at all. I would never say that. But I think that having a baby is a choice. That's the beautiful thing in the world.
We're unhappy.
I know. Don't worry. I can tell you what she's going to say.
So, movies.
Yeah, so I started watching these movies, and I took recommendations from friends first, from my queer friends, and I hadn't actively chosen to watch anything. The first movie that I remember watching was Gia, the 1998 Angelina Jolie movie, which is heavily referenced in the documentary Lavender Girls. It spoke to me and sparked something in me that I recognized, and I don't know, there were no words to describe what it was that I felt, but I felt seen, I felt accepted, I felt acknowledged. I felt like I could have an attitude and go, fuck yeah, I like girls too. But I mean, I was like 12 or 13, so like I had it in my head. I was like, yes, I'm gay, but silently like, yeah, boys are great. And then I watched a lot of the L Word, and the L Word for me was very transformative. This is a television series. It was made like 2006 to 2009, give or take, maybe a little bit more. It's like a six-part season, and it was it was incredible. It was amazing. It was like rated like 16 or 18 or something, and I was a little bit young. So like again, it was something like I hid in my bedroom, like under my bed, so that my parents wouldn't see it. But again, it was this kind of quite Christian, quite Catholic background. My parents were never against it. Let people do what they want, but like it's like a not in my backyard kind of thing. Like I don't want do what you want to do, but like don't want to see it. And then I don't know. I moved away, and I spent a lot of time doing the things I wanted to do. And I think that every time like I dyed my hair a color or wore something that was my conservative parents thought was inappropriate, or they were like, you haven't had a boyfriend for a long time. I'm like, they knew. They never didn't know. In fact, I think that they probably knew. In fact, my mom had this brilliant way of saying it just the other week where she was like, I always just knew you just needed to like experience things, and that was just who you were. Like she's like you were the rainbow. I'm like, oh, my mom I don't think quite realized how gay that reference was, but it was beautiful. So yeah, I didn't have like a sit down chat with my parents of, Mom, Dad, I think I'm gay, because I like guys too as well. So I was like,
Can I be dismissive now? That's a fine story, Monica. Thank you for telling us. Going back to your art,
yes.
is this what coming out feels like? Because if you like look at it, it's not focused. So to
It feels
me,
like you're
it's
not being seen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But to me, your paintings look like they come from outside in. It's not from from inside out, not from outside in. I mean,
Okay.
I'm not looking
like,
through a
yeah.
lens, but this is how somebody would
Viewing us. Yeah, I would agree with that. I think the fact that mainstream cinema is now actually taking us on, we're getting a taste of what people think that we will think like what we are, rather than us turning around and going like, actually, this is what we're like. Where do I have it? No, it's not one of the ones up here.
Stan, maybe slowly my man Stan.
Yeah, so some of the paintings that I've done, I tried not to focus specifically just on female directors. I do have a lot more female directors just because that tends to be more of a subject matter, actually. But I didn't want to make that distinct decision. But having these paintings and watching the way that different people come out. For example, the one that's directly behind me is the 2020 film, The Prom, which is a super fancy, like flamboyant, over-the-top musical that actually, like, in the depths of the isolation, everybody needs a musical, right? You're not answering that, so I feel like musicals maybe aren't your thing, but it kind of gave me this kind of beautiful escapism, and the entire story was about one girl not yet out and her moment of coming out. And it takes, I can't exactly remember, but it's a long way through. It's towards the end of the film that not the main character is already out, she's proud, and she wants to go to the prom with her girlfriend. And it's her girlfriend who's kind of, a little bit more in the closet, but understandably so, because do you want to know what? It's her mother, spoilers, who is the person who is leading the kind of the rampage against this couple wanting to go to a dance and just hold hands and dance to some shitty pop music.
Very conservative mom, man.
Yeah,
What can I say?
And that's actually one of the few things that frustrated me about this movie was the fact that the whole movie, the mother is this tyrant, and her daughter comes out and she's immediately like, oh, it's fine. And sometimes, of course, that I feel like that must happen. I hope that happens, but I don't think it's that easy.
I don't have kids. If I would have kids and my kid would come out, that would happen instantly. Because, as I was saying while
we've talked about a lot of things.
We're all humans in the end. And if that's the human you made, that's the human you made. You cannot change that. I mean, that's it. Right?
Exactly.
So it shouldn't, but
that's what I'm saying. It's not an incorrect representation. But for personally for this movie, because they were going through so many very obvious stereotypes. That was one that I was actually surprised that they took, because I know that in the musical, like actually on stage musical, that's not what happens. The mother doesn't immediately go like, oh my God, no, you're amazing. It's totally fine. I changed my mind. She takes her time to warm up to the idea, because
It might take 30 minutes in real life, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's
But it's
I mean,
still,
it's
you
a
know,
Hollywood
like I
movie.
saw the
But
bad.
so that's why this one is so blurred. This one is an Israeli movie. It's called.
This is Steve.
Oh, this is Steve.
Fuck Steve.
This is not Steve. This is Paul.
Oh no.
Steve's in the other room.
Oh, that's
I-
Paul.
This is Paul. We love Paul. I'm sorry I took
We
off your
love
head.
Paul.
And I'm sorry I took off your arm. And I'm sorry your left leg is a little bit twisted. But it's all for a good cause. Paul is somewhat blocking.
Paul's got a great ass.
I know, right? I modeled him after my own. Sorry.
That was a trap. It was a fucking trap. I didn't see it coming.
planned that. I didn't really.
I didn't see it coming.
No, I did. I genuinely did. Like, I have the photographic evidence. But the painting behind Paul is
Oh, it's you. Go on. We don't need me. Let's keep this podcast.
give me like. Whew. The painting behind Paul is from an Israeli movie called Barash, or the translation is Blush. And again, it was the reason I wanted to go international was because, I mean, I only know my experience and like my friends' experiences, and our experiences are relatively similar. So I wanted to know what it was like to go somewhere that was more religious or more conservative, or kind of less conservative but more traditional. And I didn't know what I was getting into. And this was a beautiful like high school realization moment. And it was something that I could relate to, because I was a high school kid, but I didn't have an older sister to go like, hey, by the way, I think I like girls too. If you go up, the one above that is Below Her Mouth. This was actually the first movie that I watched when I started doing this series. I know Below Her Mouth in the lesbian community gets a lot of hate. It's directed by a guy. It has a lot of titillation versus like representation. And I understand that there's a lot of sex scenes, like a lot of sex scenes. But it wasn't that kind of stood out for me. What stood out for me was the fact that the main character, Dallas, turns around and goes, I don't tell my coming out story, because it's not a one-time thing. And I'd never kind of understood that concept before. I was like, you come out, it's fine, you're gay. And you just say it again and again and again. And then she's like, the way that she explains it in the movie, she's like, I've come out to the bank, I've come out to my doctor, I've come out to my parents, I've come out to my friends. Every time I meet someone new, I come out to them. You never stop coming out, because it's still, I mean, it's a 2016 movie, so it's 5 years old, but you never stop coming out. And again, if you think coming out is a one-time thing, that's bullshit. You have to keep doing it. And we should do it. We need to do it. I don't hate doing it, but you know what? I can't wait for a future where nobody has to come out and you just can be. We can just be human and exist without having rights taken away from us. If you go to the black one, with like the scary Casper the Ghost type figure, that is a British movie. It's titled The Secret Diaries of Anne Lister. There's actually a brand new television series that's just come out called Gentleman Jack that's all about the same character, Anne Lister. She's not a character. She is a historical character. She actually existed. Oh, I wish I remembered dates. In the 19th century, she wrote these elaborate diaries in code talking about her love for women, her love for her compatriots, her companions. And I will admit that because she was a woman of means, she had money, she had a title, she didn't have to give a fuck what the government said. She didn't have to give a fuck what society said. She could just do what she wanted because she didn't need to get married. So this is where these things kind of, if you go far enough back, the laws are, we get into the patriarchal, like, problem. We get into the idea of ownership, of women not being able to have the same rights. It becomes a feminist issue. But the way that the movie portrays Anne Lister, I think it's 56% of the way through the movie, she exclaims at a dinner table, "I would like to settle with a female companion." And it's the most perfect response from her aunt, who is an old maid, for the time anyway, who responds with, "Well, I suppose if she's a woman, she must know what she's doing," or something to that effect. And it's quite passé. They move on from it. They don't talk about it. It's a very British, in all honesty, way of kind of dealing with talking about something that is emotionally poignant. If I go to my right,
You're not going to the right because you're not changing the camera anymore. I mean, this is
my right.
This is awesome, man. And I like felt that you were you in a way in which I think I can never be me. Chapeau. Last thing.
Okay, go for it.
We're gonna end it like this because we should end it high because all the fucking episodes are ending like this.
Okay, how are they ending?
So do like fucking, like subscribe and shit.
Can you tell I haven't watched any yet? I'm joking.
It doesn't really matter because I was bad. We will cut this. Last thing.
Yeah.
Monica, I'll give you the power of snapping your fingers and changing anything you fucking want about the world today. I'll only give you one snap. So you do whatever you want with it. But before you tell us what you're going to do with it, shall I say again? Without the fucking, but fucking at Monica_Mills. Awesome. 19 to the dozen. The subscribe, if you're still here, the subscribe button is just like there, here, like there, somewhere there. It's there. It's red. It says subscribe with white fucking letters on it. Click it.
Do it.
Click it now.
The greatest click you've done all day. I wish for equality for all humans.
That's your
That's it.
6 seconds of fame?
This has been
At
way
least-
longer than 6 seconds.
Look, please. Please say it 3 times.
I wish. Dude. Oh, shit. I wish for equality. I wish for LGBTQ community to have the exact same rights and not be discriminated against for loving who we love, for being who we are, for understanding ourselves better than somebody else.
And that's a fucking TikTok viral.
I don't think that's how you say it.
Thank you very much for being here.
You're welcome.
I mean, no.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for coming to my studio.
Yeah. I
Thank you
love
for-
this.
For meeting Paul.
I almost always say this because everybody thinks, like, oh, I'm not going to watch this. It has 3 hours. It has 2 hours and a half. It was fucking watch it on Spotify. You don't have to look at it.
Just listen to us.
Yes,
Put a face for
while you
radio.
drive, while you fucking cook. To us, while you make love to whatever or whomever you choose to make love tonight. It should be about love.
He's not wrong at that point.
Subscribe for Monday.